was born in Spring Hill, Iowa, 1919, on July the 7th. It's question mark whether it was the 7th or the 24th, but my mother says I was born on the 7th, so that's what I go by. In the summertime, the mine shut down because they didn't need the coal, and I hopped a freight train and went to Highwood, Illinois, and got a job on construction. And I was working for John Griffith Construction Company when the war broke out. And he wanted to send me up to Alaska. When I got my draft notice, back in those days you had a number, you had draft notice. And I told him, I says, well, I gotta go back home, I'm getting drafted. He says, well, you go back home and tell your folks goodbye, because I'm gonna send you up to Alaska. Well, I come home and went in a tavern down there on the highway, and I got patriotic, and I called him up and told him, forget it, I'm going with my friends in the service. And that's when I got drafted, 1941, I think it was. Well, first thing, they sent me to Fort Des Moines, in Des Moines. And then from there, within 2 days, they had me on my way to Camp Crowder, Missouri, studying communications. And I didn't even know how to answer a phone, not alone. We never had a phone. And from there, they sent me back to Chicago to Coyne Electrical School for 3 months. And I graduated from there. I don't know, it came natural for me in communication. So then they sent me to Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania. From Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania, they sent me down to Camp Pickett, Virginia, and then back to New York, and went in and made the invasion of North Africa. Went in at Casablanca, just north of Casablanca. And then across the Sahara, we tried to cut Rommel off, because the British 8th Army was pushing Rommel up from down in Egypt, pushing him back, and we tried to cut him off, but we didn't get it done. But they finally pushed him clear out of North Africa, and that's when I got assigned to General Girard. He was building the French army, and so was General de Gaulle. And of course, it was kind of competitive, and but I could speak a little French and a little German, Spanish and a little Italian. So they sent me over to teach communications for General Girard's army. I lived like a king, because they treated me like I was a general. And then they made the invasion of southern France, and I went in there for about 3 or 4 days, and then brought me back to North Africa. And then I went back with my original outfit and went over into Italy at Anzio. And then I stayed with them, the 5th Army, all the way north to the Alps till the war ended. When I got out of the service, the first thing I'd done, I said I was going to stand on a street corner and flip a silver dollar. I wasn't going to work. They wanted me to go back in the mines, and I said, no way. I applied for both a job at John Deere and Firestone, then went on down, and I said, well, I'm going down to telephone company. And of course, I hadn't finished high school because I quit in the 11th grade to go in the coal mines. So I went down to telephone company and applied for a job, and the guy, I can still remember, that guy told me, he says, did you finish high school? I said, no, I quit in 11th grade to go in the mines at 15. he says, I'm going to send you upstairs to be interviewed. But you remember you finished high school, because we ain't allowed to hire anybody that didn't finish high school. So they sent me upstairs, and the guy didn't ask me whether I finished high school, so I didn't have to lie. He says, can you come to work Monday? And I went to work for Bell Telephone for 37 years.